Hey, hello, and welcome to this evening's stream. This evening, we're going to be back to doing some game development. We're going to take a slightly different approach to the way we've done the last sort of few development streams. So we're not actually going to try and finish this game in this stream specifically. We thought it actually would be nice to give ourselves a bit of time, perhaps do things a little bit more detailed, a little bit more properly, and hopefully come out at the end of it with a game that is actually quite a little bit more involved and a bit more fun, and hopefully one that we can all, go off and play together once we've finished it. So we're thinking it's going to take a couple of weeks. So, I think it'll be next Thursday we'll look to finish it off. If we get to next Thursday and there's still too much to do, then we'll we'll extend it until it's finished. But as always, let us know in chat if there are any suggestions for the game as we're making it. It'd be interesting to see if we can kind of, or as a big group, come up with some of the ideas that we're going to come up with. I'm joined this time by Adam. So Adam, do you want to say hello?
Hey everyone.
Okay. So we've had a lot of feedback, obviously, about the stream overlay. So we thought we'd stick with this sort of two camera overlay. I'm just going to shift mine across a little bit. Actually, there, I should sit better. Okay. So we can see I'm here in game, and I'm just going to go into a new one. So I think the best one to start this from, I was thinking about it earlier, probably it's kind of like a team elimination style.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
But we need
They're on teams.
Yeah.
When they die, they don't come back. So yeah.
But the one half do. So there will be some tweaking to the logic here.
Okay.
So this game is going to be called Exploding Barrels. Okay, and this is a game that exists. It's kind of one that's quite popular on other sort of modding platforms and things. So I figured, it's about time Crayta had its own version of this. I'll just pick a random one here. We'll probably upload our own cover art for this at some point. But just to explain, the concept behind this is basically that it's kind of like prop hunt meets infection. So the idea is one team will spawn as humans, another team will spawn as barrels. And the idea is the barrels basically have to try and sneak up on the humans and detonate themselves to kill the humans. When a human dies, they then become a barrel. So it's kind of that infection rule set, but also with the sort of prop hunt element of sneaking around as a barrel. And the level will be filled with barrels, so kind of static barrels, so that the barrels have a chance to hide amongst those. So should be quite fun. I think it's quite a popular game. So let's get Adam in here.
That'd be good. There we go. Coming in.
Cool. Okay, so let me just check one thing quickly. Okay, looks like I'm not getting any game audio. Adam, do you want to just talk us through what you're planning on doing during this stream?
It's a good question. First thing, I'm going to work out what I'm doing during this stream. Then, so I'm going to start making the logic for one team becoming barrels when they spawn. So it's going to be a little bit like prop hunt in that respect. So you're not actually going to see the player mesh. You're going to see a barrel mesh that's a child of them. Going to be working out the team balance and making sure that those barrels can die, but they can respawn. Whereas the sort of survivors team, when they die, they don't respawn. They actually get turned into the barrels team. That's my plan for today.
Cool. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So I'm just trying to fiddle my sound settings to get it to come through.
Cool.
Bear with me 1 second.
While you do that, I'm going to talk through my logic. I think the first step I'm going to do, similar to prop hunt, is I'm going to split out to 2 player templates. So we're going to have a player template for the survivors, I think, and then another one for the barrel players. So I'm going to start by going to the templates tab of the library, duplicating the player, call that a barrel player, and renaming the first one to survivor player.
Cool.
Have I filled enough time for you to get the sound on?
Maybe not. I don't know why that's not coming through, so do apologize.
Question from Ref Gaming: will you be showing us the script you use that you create? Sorry, to be able to do that, turning players into barrels. Yep, we can do that. It shouldn't be a difficult script, but we'll probably be adding to it once we try and refine the gameplay a little bit more.
Cool. Okay, I think I've sorted it. Sorry about that. Right. So yeah, as Adam said, I think one thing with this sort of game series that we're going to try and do is yeah, cool. So one thing we're going to try and do with this is it's not really kind of make it too much of a tutorial. Obviously, we've got quite a few videos we've done now where we've sort of explained through everything we're going to do. We thought what would kind of work with this one is we're just going to try and naturally build the game. Obviously, we'll show as we go along what we're doing at that moment, but there will be things happening in the background that won't necessarily get covered. But if we do something that you specifically would like to see, then obviously do let us know in chat. And we'll do our best to sort of collaborate on that together to some degree, or at least go back and have a look at how we achieved certain things. But yeah, so I think do let us know, but obviously there will be things happening in the background. Because I say, I think the idea here is we're going to try and make the game a little bit more involved and a kind of a bigger scope, which is why we're going to try and expand it over the course of a couple of streams. So what I'll probably do while Adam's starting, laying down some of the code foundations, I'll have a look at getting a bit more of the level sort of built out. So I'm thinking sci-fi for a start, because we've got obviously the new cool sci-fi assets, and I haven't really used those much on the stream. Let's have a quick switch to advanced.
First thing I want to do with my barrel player template is delete the overhead, the script folder which contains the name tag and the health bar, because it's going to be a bit rubbish if you can see which barrel is a player straight away.
Yep,
that probably ruin it.
That would kind of spoil things a bit, wouldn't it?
And I'm going to untick display default name tag and display default quick chat, because they would also give you away.
They would also give you away pretty quickly.
And crouching, you can't really crouch as a barrel. You kind of crumple, wouldn't you? You'd be like, so I'm going to untick crouching.
Yeah, I think, so what we'd want is we'd still want them to be able to jump. I wonder if at some point we could program in like a cooldown on the jump, so it's kind of a bit more tactical.
Sorry, what did you just say? I completely blanked that.
I was just saying about the jump. It'd be quite good maybe if we added in some sort of cooldown for the jump, so you can jump as a barrel. Maybe if you could jump quite high as well.
Yeah,
a bit of like an attack type thing, but then you can only do it every few seconds rather than constantly.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Right, let's just throw down some space panels.
We do not need the barrel to have the crosshair script folder.
We do not.
Because they can't have guns.
Not these barrels. So for the barrel itself, I'm not sure what you're looking at, but I was thinking, obviously, again, keeping it sci-fi. We've got that that like yellow one.
Okay, I've gone for the red oil drum, but yeah, I can quite easily change that.
Yeah, I think that might work with the setting. Cool. I can see Raf's asked about the jam, and Maggie's answered. But yeah, just to remind everyone, obviously the sci-fi game jam is running currently. There's 3 days left, so that's going to be closing on Monday. Correct me if I'm wrong, Maggie, but I think that's 10 a.m. BST. So obviously we've pushed it a little bit later in the morning this time to help people kind of with their final submissions and make sure we're around to assist with that a bit better. But yeah, you do need to have signed up. So there's a link there that Maggie shared. So if you head over to that page and sign up, make you sort of your entry eligible. Right, I'm going to build up some walls. So I'm thinking it's just going to be like a big square room with a kind of a couple of different sort of staircase levels to it perhaps, but it's not going to be anything too fancy. And what I'll do to start with really is more of like a white box. So when we talked about game design in our masterclass that we did, it's kind of, I think it's good rather than diving in straight away and making everything as final as possible off the bat. I think it makes sense to really start to like white box out the environment. You know, where do I want stairs? And especially in this sort of game, I think you can have the most fun game mechanic and game concept. But I think until you've actually prototyped out how the level exists in the game, I think you really need to nail that sort of thing first. Let's do this wall here.
So I'm just configuring the health script folder on the barrel player. No, I'm not. I'm configuring the barrel mesh child on the barrel player to have damage enabled, and then on damage, it's going to point at the health script on damage event on that player. So hopefully it should pass damage up to the parent player.
Cool. Okay. That makes sense. As I say, I'll come and have a look at what you've done at some point. I think that makes sense to just sort of get an idea of how you've put things together. Let's put a roof on this, so it will be enclosed. I'm kind of thinking like a space station sort of out like setup.
Yeah,
might look quite cool. Okay, and we'll make this nice and thick as well.
Right then.
Okay, so this will be our room. Feels about right size-wise, I think. I think, yeah, we wonder like barrel speed as well is something we'll have to take into consideration. Sort of get the kind of barrels moving quicker. Probably the humans need to be first person as well. These sort of hide and seek games obviously work best when the hunter can't really see as well.
So I'm going to change the speed multiplier on barrels to 1.5, and I'm going to change the survivor player to the forced camera. I'm going to change to first person only.
Cool. Right, let me get an idea of. Have we got window meshes in here? I think we might have.
We do. We've got spaceship windows, which are pretty cool.
If
you want to use those.
Yeah, cool. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm going to put one in here just to get an idea of the height. So if we had like a wall of those, we'd probably want a second floor in here. A bit of like a mezzanine level, perhaps.
I'm going to Google what mezzanine means.
You know, when you go to like a fancy studio apartment and you go in and there's like half a floor. So it's almost like a second floor, but there's got like it's almost like a balcony that's inside. Like that.
Would you say it's something like a low story between two others in a building, typically between the ground and first floors?
I'd say so. Yeah, that's quite impressive actually.
Okay, yeah.
Just come up with that definition, having just learned what it is.
Okay, yeah, got it now.
Cool.
I knew it already. I just,
yeah,
just for the stream.
Sure, gotcha. Okay, something like this. AJC's got a good suggestion there for people, participating in the game jam. Make sure you get your cover images submitted in plenty of time. Don't leave that to a last because there is a manual approval process with that. So obviously, if you're kind of 10 minutes to deadline and you upload your cover image, there's a good chance that it's not going to get approved in time. So it's definitely something to be looking at doing, a day or two before submission, just to give us plenty of time to approve that. As I say, we pushed the submission time back slightly later in the morning by a couple of hours to obviously give us a chance to catch up with anything from overnight, any issues and that sort of thing. But it's definitely worth trying to get ahead of the game with that sort of thing. Let's do the same around this area as well.
What I'm going to do as well is hook up the health script. I think somewhere it has an on player died. When the player dies, I'm going to try and hook that event into the barrel logic so it shows the player against the barrel when they die, so it's really obvious to players. Same thing that Prop Hunt does, I think.
Cool. Yeah, I kind of figured, like, while we were kind of brainstorming this to a degree, that there's going to be certain elements of Prop Hunt that could be copied, which is always nice when you've made the mechanic before to try and regurgitate it with a slight twist.
Yep. So there is a event property in the health script on a player called OnDied. So I'm going to set up a listener to that from my barrel player script and point that at the barrel visibility toggle, which you can come and have a look at in a sec.
Cool.
If it works.
Okay, so we're going to have that walkway. There's going to be windows around the edge. Probably don't want to have too many separate rooms to this. It's going to be more like an open area. I think that kind of typically how this game style works best. Maybe some sort of platform in the middle actually might look quite cool. Okay, so let's think about how this is going to look. So as I said, if you do have any suggestions as we're making this game, obviously we've got a rough idea of where we're going to end up, but there's flexibility in here to maybe try and put in a few suggestions here and there. So do let us know any thoughts, any ideas you might have. Let's go a little bit bigger on this. I probably want this to not be too high, so use our player as a reference here. Maybe something like that, so you could see over it if you wanted to. And then let's build some stairs into this. Okay, nice way to build inset stairs with this sort of thing is use the line tool with the remove. So how tall is this? If you go the same amount back here, and click there, so that's going to delete a sort of steady set of stairs in there, and then you can extrude across and then just extrude that for these sort of few levels that are here. There we are, and you get this nice quick sort of inset stairs. And you go for it, what you're saying?
The barrel shouldn't need an inventory view on the player, should it? They don't need to use an inventory at all.
No, the barrels. So I guess I should explain, a bit more about the gameplay perhaps. So the idea is the barrels can obviously sort of hide amongst the static barrels that are in the level, but they will have to. They will detonate if shot. So the hunters will have sort of a weapon that is one shot with a bit of a slow reload. If you see a barrel, you have to try and take the barrel down, hit it. It will detonate, or it will activate its timer. So each barrel will have, say, 5 seconds before it detonates. So being shot will detonate, or the barrel can choose to detonate. And obviously, they need to get close enough to a player, choose when to detonate with that like slight offset, so they can't just explode instantly. So there's a little bit of a tactic there, choosing when to approach, and sort of attack the players. So there's a little bit of tactics to it, as well as generally just being, I think quite fun. Fact. Yeah, let's leave that one like that. Okay, I'll do the same on this side. Okay, so again, just extrude that wall across. Okay, and then Just remove this last bit, tidy up. But as I say, nice quick way of just creating some sort of inset stairs on a level. Works quite nice. Okay, so getting a bit of a white box together here. So as I say, there's still plenty to do. But that will do for now. So we can come back and do a little bit more level design at that at some point. So I'll have a look at getting the weapon set up, because obviously that's going to be a big part of the gameplay. Starting from Team Elimination, we should have had a gun. So I'm just going to modify this one because we don't really need any other guns in this game.
What's it going to turn into? Did you say a pistol or?
Yeah, I think pistol works.
Like the Desert Eagle, the handgun mesh would be quite good, I think.
Yeah, let's go for that. As I say, it's kind of the idea is you get one shot, or you have to before you have to reload. Move the muzzle locator towards the end. Okay. Okay, and we could probably get away with just tweaking the gun script here. So damage 200. We'll leave that as that, but I think, yeah, the idea is any damage to the barrel should set off its detonation. So really,
is that a non-player barrel?
No, that's a player barrel. Shooting a non-player barrel shouldn't do anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of the way that they defend themselves is to try and spot when it's a proper barrel, or when it's a player barrel, not a real barrel, and shoot them. But obviously, if the barrel's already got close enough to them, shooting them will just trigger their detonation period. So you kind of have to hit them at range as well.
Yeah. I thought if you shot them, they explode instantly.
They don't explode instantly. They'll well, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the gameplay feels, but it should activate their sort of their countdown basically.
Okay.
But as I say, yeah, that's the sort of thing we can tweak and play with. Okay, so shots per clip is 1, so we only want 1 bullet per clip. Reload time, I'm going to put 2 seconds for now, so it's a slow reload. So you obviously got to pick your shots. That will probably do. We want to change a few little things here, or do we? Shot sound. We change that to, I think there's a pistol sound. Change that. Yeah, that'll do. Cool. Well, that actually should do. So we need to make sure that the human, the sort of the hunters. I say hunters, but it's kind of different, isn't it? Because it's like prop hunt, but actually the barrels are the aggressors. Like they're the ones that are trying to. It's kind of prop hunt flipped.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you can go for the hunter.
Yeah,
and everyone's a hunter at the start.
Yeah,
it's weird.
They're kind of like it's like a survival hunter. They're trying to hunt to survive, not to just eliminate the props.
Yeah.
So survivor player, I guess that's our humans. We'll kind of refer, or yeah, I think we'll go with survivor. We'll just call them survivors. Probably the easiest way to refer to them. So user. Okay, so we've already got the gun set up as our default on the user, so that should be fine. Okay, what was I going to look at as well? Okay, so I'll have a look at making it so when a barrel dies, it becomes, when a survivor dies, they become a barrel. Rather than...
Yes, and we need to look at the game script to adjust it so one player starts as the barrel. Yes. And all the other players will start as hunters, survivors even. And then we'll make it so that they spawn different templates for each of those as well.
Yes, yeah, that makes sense. Let's get rid of that window in the background. Okay, so our user has the respawn logic on it, so I assume that's where I'm going to need to look.
Yep, I'd imagine so.
Spawn, user spawn script. Okay, let's have a think here. So as I said at the start, this is kind of a series of streams in a way where we're kind of going to come into these things a little bit more blind and not a huge amount of planning and prep. So there will be a little bit of debugging and go back and forth and potential issues. So obviously, if you do spot something that we're doing wrong or you think of a better way to do it, then do let us know in the chat. I kind of want to do this as collaboratively as possible, even with the chat. So feel free to help us out. I'm sure there's going to be problems along the way.
Okay, so in the barrel player script, sorry, as soon as this barrel takes damage, they start doing their explosion, yeah?
Yes, yeah. That's correct. Okay, so
Cool.
if our player just died, we respawn a few seconds later if we're alive still. Okay, but we don't have... Where do we... Respawn actives. Okay, so respawn active is true. Because we do want to respawn, but only if they were a survivor. In fact, no, because even the barrels will respawn, won't they? Because it's a time-based game, so it's obviously the survivors don't just need to find the barrels necessarily, they need to just survive until the timer expires.
Yes.
So I'm wondering actually if elimination wasn't the best starter game.
Maybe you're right.
But that's fine because all we need to do is just tweak the parameters to get it into a different state. So let me do that first.
We can just get rid of the elimination game script, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm going to go and get rid of elimination game script where it does its custom rules for when there's no players left. And obviously we want respawns enabled. So auto respawn is ticked on the game script. I think that kind of gets it into a team deathmatch. Just those couple of things. So that's always good. I think that's kind of the nice thing as well when you're using sort of starter games is you don't necessarily get forced down one route. You can morph things between. The starter game's a great way to get a lot of logic in place at the start, but then you do have the ultimate freedom to just put whatever game rules on top of it that you want. Okay. Right, so I'll go back to my user spawn. So here, so that's all fine then. We keep the spawn as it is. On user login. On player died. So have you got anything in place yet that will pick which template to spawn?
I have not.
Okay, cool. That's fine. So that's what I'll do in here then.
Okay, cool.
So spawn.
Yeah, you've got all the rules in your head of how this game works, and I'm still trying to work them out exactly. So I was just refactoring the barrel player script. So now when a barrel dies, they're not going to show the player because obviously anytime they die or explode, they're just going to do the explosion, right?
Yes, yeah.
And go invisible. So
yeah, it's not like Prop Hunt where it's like, you found the player. It's just they are a barrel at that point. They will explode and then they will respawn as a barrel.
No, yes, yeah.
Yeah. So what I should be able to do here is on user died player. So I've got the player from here. So this is before we've destroyed the entity. So I should be able to capture here player get template, so I can see what template the player came from, which should help.
Yep. Or you could see what team they're on.
That would also work.
Either way.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
So it's worth working out now.
Yeah.
Team 1 is what? Team 2 is what?
Yeah, so we just say team 1 is survivors, team 2 is barrels. We probably make a log of that in the team script.
I was going to write that in the game script, but yeah, both places is probably useful.
Both, yeah.
Team 1 is
survivor.
Oh, I already got it wrong. Team 2 is barrel.
Okay, cool. Because the game script, will determine which team Okay, so I still want to have the two templates in here. So barrel player template.
Where are you adding these templates?
In the user spawn script.
Oh.
Okay, so when
I see,
yeah, on user died, I basically need to say, work out which team they're on, and if they're on a surviving team and they just died, they now need to swap to the team. So if player get user, in fact, no, I'm already on the user here, aren't I? Also get entity. Find script property. I think it's just called team. Yeah, so just this team here. So find script property is a really nice way, something I've tried to make more use of recently. But it's a really nice way of not having to hard code in the script that you're looking for. So obviously I could have said self-get-entity.team script, but if at any point we decided to move the team property to a different script, for example, this code would break then because it's looking specifically at the team script. So by doing this, it's going to actually look for, it's going to look through all the scripts on this entity and return, the sort of the first one it finds. So kind of have to make sure that there's only one property called team, but in this case there should be. We should make this a property as well, really. So
making the game script spawn only one player on one team and everyone else on the other team might be a little bit tricky. So I think once I work it out, that might be something that's worth showing as well.
Sure. Yeah. We can always talk through that together if we need to. Survivor team. Yeah, so again, it just to kind of reiterate, that's kind of the reason I kind of thought we'd do this sort of stream. I think it kind of gives us more time to talk things through. We're not rushing through anything. We might not make a whole bunch of progress, but it's a bit more true to some degree to the some of the large scale games. Obviously, there's a place for the other streams where we've made games quite quickly. But obviously, we've done that quite a lot, so this is quite a nice chance to just slow things down a bit and get into the nitty gritty of the code sometimes, and then obviously do a lot of level design and that sort of thing. So let us know in the comments, obviously, if this is the sort of thing, this stream is quite useful to you, and obviously so we can see those sort of metrics as well, if this format is something that you enjoy.
Ooh. So AJC just pointed out there's a package for randomly shuffling teams which will put one person on one team and everyone else on another. That sounds useful. That
does sound useful. And I wonder if we can tweak it, if it is just one, because we might want to say spawn 2 or 3 barrels, depending on the number of players. But yeah, I imagine we could tweak it if it's set to 1. But yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Maybe we can have a look at that.
Check that out.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's really handy, actually. Yeah. So yeah, if anyone thinks of any other sort of packages that exist that either you've written or that you've used in your own games, then do let us know in the chat. That might speed things up a little bit, which would be quite nice. Okay, so at this point we survivors died, so they swap teams.
Can't vouch for it, but it would save time if it works.
Okay, so I'll just do a set as barrel function on here, and I'll put that into the team script. That feels like the most appropriate place. Actually, we've already got this set team. So let's say set team, and I know I've got the property in here for the barrel team. Okay, and then what was the other argument here? So also set voice. Yes, that should be, I guess that's a Boolean. Yes. obviously we want them to swap voice teams at that point as well, so they can't just listen to their enemies at this point. Okay, that should set us to the other team when a survivor dies. Let's just go and set.
Okay, so I'm not sure if that shuffle team's asymmetrical will work in our case. But it looks like it was meant to be a function that gets inserted into the game script, but I'm going to take a bit of inspiration and tweak the game script, set user team function instead.
Okay. I mean, that's always a nice way to use packages as well. You know, you don't have to use the package at the end of the day, but you could learn a lot from reading through them. I know when I sort of get into game development, a lot of the time it's kind of breaking down existing things and sort of getting your head around how it comes together. So, right. That should be ready to set the team. So then when we spawn, where do we actually spawn the player? Spawn internal, I think is the name of that function. Okay, cool. Spawn internal. Okay, so here it's assuming we've got player template. So actually we want player template to be dependent on which team we're on. So let's set that to survivor player template. But if the user is
yeah, what I'm going to do is make a property in the game script called survivors per barrel. So then actually do something a little bit more interesting, where we can say there'll be 3 survivors for every barrel, and then if we've already got 3 survivors, we'll add another barrel before adding more survivors.
Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so when we spawn here, we're actually just going to hijack this and still use our player template, not from the properties, but from a local variable. And now it's going to say, set it to be the survivor template, but actually now let's just check if they are actually a barrel, we'll swap it again to be a barrel. That should work nicely. Okay, so I think that's in place. So it's going to spawn the right sort of team template, and also when a survivor dies, they will become a barrel. It's getting weirder and weirder every time I say it. Cool. Right, so you're having a look at getting the right teams to spawn.
Yes.
That should be that. Okay, what I'll have a quick look at is, while I'm thinking about spawns, is the sort of the spawn locations. Kind of want them to be a little bit random actually, but in fact I'll leave them like this for now. When we've got the level a bit more finished, we'll flesh them out a bit. But yeah, you kind of want the barrels to be in and amongst it. I'll place a few barrel meshes so we get the idea. I'll put all these under a locator as well so we can delete them a bit more easily. Okay, I think we'd need more than that ultimately, but that'll do for now. Okay, cool. Right, which script are you in? I'll jump in and see what you're up to. Is it game script?
It is, yeah. I'm confusing myself here.
Anything I can help with?
Yeah, come and check out my logic.
Yeah, which line are you
on? 393.
Okay, cool. So set user team. So this is the existing function, right? That would normally keep it fair.
Yeah. So this is basically called anytime a new user joins, it's going to set their team. And then I think when a round restarts, it does this to all users, or it might even not do that and keep them on the same team. But what we'll need to do is shuffle up the teams as well, and then set user team on everyone. But for now, I'm just trying to make sure it works for people joining. So we've got survivors per barrel, which I've set to 3 in the properties.
Okay.
So team counts 2. So the number of barrels, if the number of barrels times 3 is still less than the number of survivors, add them to team 2. So barrels, otherwise add them to team 1.
So
Does that make sense?
If the number of barrels times survivors is less than the number of survivors, I think that makes sense.
No, the number of barrels times survivors per barrel.
Per barrel, yeah.
So if there's 3 survivors per barrel,
yeah,
and you've got 1 barrel, so that's 1 times 3.
Yeah.
So if that's less than your number of survivors, then you need another barrel.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That does make sense.
That does make sense. Yeah, it makes sense. Whether it works or not, I don't know, but it makes sense.
Okay. Cool. And now I will find probably on round start. I'll shuffle up the teams.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So scoring wise, trying to think, this is where the kind of elimination side of it comes in. So we do actually need a slightly different way of, because it's not points based, which this will be now. So I wonder if, whether the game, let's just have a quick look at how the elimination script works. I think it does like a checks every second it's checking if one whole team has been eliminated. So I think actually we do need this script in, thinking about it, because whenever actually we're going to have respawning, but one team will get eliminated, right? Because we will run out of survivors, that's the point. Or the timer will expire. So we kind of need 2 places that will end the game. We need the elimination game script to end when all the survivors are gone. And we need the timer to trigger that the survivors have won. Because if we get to the timer, there must be survivors left. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, I think what I did in Prop Hunt possibly is, I'm maybe lying to you here, but when the timer expired, I just killed the hunter. And then the elimination game script goes, oh, their team's dead. Props won.
That also works. Yeah, that might be a nice, easy way of kind of keeping it all in line with the same logic. So we shouldn't really need to change anything in this elimination game script then. It's kind of like elimination, but with respawns, weirdly. But I guess, if you did it your way, we'd need to make sure that we trigger to have all of the people that we just killed not respawn. But if they all died at the same time, it might work. Yeah. Okay. I think that's fine. We'll see how that goes.
I'm sure this is a great stream for everyone watching. Just watching us try and puzzle out various things.
Yeah. I mean, as I say, that is kind of the point to a degree. It's kind of a bit more laid back, a bit more chill, a bit more hangout. Let's say a bit more authentic. So how are you doing? I imagine we're almost at a point where we could have a quick preview and just see how this handles.
Yep, I just want to make sure I get the shuffle working.
Sure.
I'm Googling the most efficient Lua table shuffle.
Nice. So is this the right, yeah, okay. So it makes sure the order. I'm trying to think if there's a way we do it with like random, like you just pick random players. Like, could you work out how many players you need to be barrels and then just pick 3 of them at random and make everybody else a survivor? Does that work?
Sort of, yeah, but I'd rather implement it so that it's just fully shuffles the users so
Yeah.
that people can see how to do that.
Yeah, that's an interesting way of doing it.
And it'll be more efficient because in one place we just shuffle the table of users, and then in the other place we just assign those users onto teams.
Yeah, no, I see. That makes sense. Cool. So whereabouts are you doing that? I'll have a quick peek in.
I've just grabbed something from Google on line 153. So do player schedule. So I don't think I need shuffled users. And then this is apparently called a Fisher-Yates shuffle.
Nice.
Which is exciting. So I'm going to replace table there with users. Going to try and understand how this works, then fail, and then just go with it and see what happens.
Okay, so basically we're going to loop through the
Okay, so
yeah, go on then, have a go.
right, so for I equals the number of users down to 2, incrementing by -1. So it's going to run through from the number of users backwards. So say we've got 10 users, it's going to go I is 10, I is 9, I is 8, down to 2.
Yeah.
Then a new local variable j is going to be math.random I, which means a random integer from, is it 0 to I or 1 to I?
I think
It's
in
1 to I.
Lua it'll be 1 to I.
Yeah, because it's 1 indexed.
I think you get 0 to 1 if you don't pass in something, right?
Yes, you're right.
But
yeah.
if you do pass in something, it's 1 to the thing.
So basically, that's going to return a random number between 1 and the number of users in the table. So basically, pick a random user index, and then it's going to basically swap those two values around.
Okay, yeah, I can see how that's working.
So that's like a more concise way of writing users I equals users J, and vice versa. But because you write it all on one line, they'll both happen at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, so this one,
I think that makes sense.
This one gets assigned to this one, and this one gets assigned to this one. And it's just, yeah, it's kind of stepping back through the table, picking at random, isn't it? Like a random one from the ones it's been through already. Sort of, yeah, constantly shuffling through. Yeah, I think that works. If not, we can stick some prints around that and see how that goes. But a handy little trick. Might make a nice little package.
Yeah, the main thing to note here is steal stuff off Google because people have already written all this stuff for you. So I just searched for Lua shuffle table and found that. So it's definitely worth doing.
Yeah, it's definitely worth doing, but it's also definitely worth spending the time to look through it and try and understand it.
Yeah.
And it's interesting as well. It might be the sort of thing that's great for our Lua help channel on Discord. We can kind of put our minds together as a group if there's anything that's particularly tricky. But I think that little table shuffle, as you said, there's no point in spending time trying to redo it when there's a perfectly good algorithm out there already.
Yep, and then I just realized that's all useless if I don't actually then tell the teams to get set on those users.
That is very true.
So I'm going to do for each user set user team with the user in our newly, oh no, wait, I don't want that at all because that's just going to get me my normal list. I want to go through our list of users.
About to say, yeah, because this is your new rearranged list. Yeah. So for every user in users set
user team,
and then that set user team is going to do find it here. That's going to do what we did before with this kind of picking the random team, but it's just going to do it in a different order.
And the way this is going to work, I think, is going to be basically the first user in that list will be a barrel, second, third, fourth will be survivors, or it'll be something along those lines. But that's okay because we've already shuffled up the whole bunch of users.
Cool. So this is one that we're only going to really test once we've got more than just the two of us in here. But for now, we should at least see that we get on different teams. And in theory, we should see that we end up on different teams occasionally, not necessarily every time. But right, do you want to show over preview? See where we're up to?
Yeah, sure, go for it. Cool. What could go wrong? I'm sure loads. First
What?
of all,
Haven't
I'm
changed.
still a player and a barrel. Hello there.
Nice. Cool. Okay, but you're much faster than me as well. Right.
I am. The bit that didn't require any of my code has worked.
Okay. Can you detonate yourself?
I put a 3-second thing on, so no, I haven't added a button for that yet. Damn
Okay,
it.
cool. But
I
if
added the function.
but,
But if you shoot the barrel,
hey, there we go.
what an anticlimax. But it did at least work.
And what should happen is you respawn as another barrel. Okay, but this time your human's not here.
Oh wait, what?
Okay, but
I didn't respawn. I just didn't die.
Interesting. But so this is the concept, right? I guess just to explain the gameplay is I'm a hunter running around. Obviously, this room's full of identical barrels, and it's up to you to try and shift around and move. There we go. It's up to you to
new result screen.
To try and shift around and move amongst the static barrels to try and get close enough to the hunters.
Hey Russ, can you find me? Can you see where I am? Can you see where I am? Nope. Come back here, I'm trying to explode. Oh no, I haven't got a button for that yet.
Adam killed Adam.
Wait, what?
Oh, that time it actually...
How did I kill me?
Okay, right.
I haven't put in a button press for killing me.
So I shot you, but okay. So that's the call's getting there. So what do we need to look at? I will have a look at the gun actually because there's a few things I needed to change. But so kind of remaining as the player was not quite right.
Not exactly.
There we are. Okay, so I need to change my grip here, so it's a pistol grip, and actually, the icon asset as well. Pickup. I might get rid of this pickup spawner and pickup trigger actually, because we don't pick this up. Leave all that on. Okay, that might sit a bit better now. Okay, so that worked.
Oh, I worked out why it didn't set me invisible at the start. In fact, why it didn't do a whole bunch of things.
Okay. Tell you what, I'll have a look at hooking up the button if you want me to while you're sorting stuff out.
No, it's fine. I sorted it out. It was literally I put P instead of self.properties because I normally set a local value P at the start of a function, but I hadn't in this case.
Gotcha.
What are the spinners for in the chat? What's going on?
Yeah, someone did that before.
There's some buffering.
That made me panic when I saw that. I was like, oh no, what's going wrong? But I think the stream's okay. Yeah, let us know if there's any problems with the stream or if it's just a new troll emoji.
Is there? Oh no, there's no troll emoji on the YouTube chat. It's a trolley bus if you search troll.
Nice. While I'm in the barrel template, do you want to just talk us through quickly? So the player barrel player. Just talk us through the logic again, just for people who are interested in how we've got players to be barrels.
So quite simply on this template, barrel player, we've got a barrel mesh as a child of the player template. That has, it's still got its collision enabled, but the collision preset is set to overlap all, which I think means it'll still pick up when you shoot it, but it's not going to try and collide with your player, in which case you keep like running into yourself. It'd be really weird. I don't know what's going on with the spinners. It's really weird.
Yeah.
And then it's also, I've also ticked damage enabled on it, and I'm passing that back up to the player. So hopefully if you shoot the player or the barrel, it'll do damage. I might try and change it so you can only do damage by hitting the barrel, but we'll get to that. And then on the barrel player logic script, we've got a property there for the barrel entity. And that is supposed to be setting the player invisible and making sure that barrel entity is visible. But I did it wrong. But
Right,
I'm fixing it now.
Okay. So this is all your custom logic here.
In the barrel player script, yep.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's quite straightforward, as a trick, and it might make for a good package at some point. Not necessarily specific for barrels, but like a swap mesh. There's a few people like that sort of thing. So you're just adding the explode button in.
Yep.
Have we got? I'll add a prompt for it, or the get button prompt, so the actual prompt for it appears on screen.
Yeah, that'd be good actually, if you can do that. Scriggle Wiggle, I'm going to explode all over Unit 2 game staff in this game. Okay.
Okay.
Interesting. Shouldn't have really read that one out loud, should I?
Maybe not.
Self do explosion schedule.
Okay, so this prompt will only appear on the barrel because it's specific to the barrel template, so we don't have to worry about checking first. So we can just say prompts. How are you deciding the button? Have you just got a explode? But okay, cool. So because Adam set this up, so yeah, it's going to be kind of a list. Here we are. So this drop down here of all the button names just by using this kind of options. I'll just close this, you'll see. So you can set up all the strings here in a table, and then you can pass in options, those button names, and then what that means is it gives you a drop down here, which is quite a nice way of setting things up. So I want to now have get button prompt. So prompts self.properties as button. No, what did you call the property? Explode button.
Explode button, yeah.
Have you got a text field for the prompt, or if not, I can do it.
I'll do one now.
Okay, I've just called it explode MSG, explode message.
Cool. Yeah, it's up at the top. It's just been added. Cool. I'll let you add a suitable prompt. I think we just need explode. Does it? Because I think the prompt fills in the rest, right?
Does it put the 2 as well?
So... I think so. Let me just go check on the user template. It says press button to action. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
It'll do the words press and 2 for you.
Okay, but what I'll do is I'll format this string to include the amount of time.
Yeah.
So that should work. So basically, format. So because the explode message is text, I can call format on the back of that, and we can see here that if my scroll down far enough. But yeah, basically I should be able to pass in a sort of parameter here that will replace the 1 here in the message. So it will say press explode button, whichever we've set that to primary, to explode in explosion delay, which is 3, so 3 seconds. So just to make it clear to the barrels that it's not an instant explosion, but there is a bit of a trigger to it.
Okie dokie. Do you think we're ready for a playtest there?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's get a few playtests going now. Hopefully we can get that there.
When will we get Crayta merch, like a shirt with Russ's face on it? That would be a cool shirt. Hey, I'm a barrel.
You are a barrel. I've just realised one thing I need to remove is when I hover over you, I get a red crosshair.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I managed to explode and not even kill myself somehow.
I hit you.
Yes, you did.
I think I killed you as a player though. I think, which is the problem, right? I killed you.
No, that's the idea. You should be killing the player.
It does look funny. I'm thinking 1.5 might be a bit fast. Hey, that did damage to me. Okay, can you explode? Can you explode again?
I'm not sure.
Try it.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I can't actually.
Okay.
I can explain why if you go look at the script.
Sure. Okay, I'm gonna press F5. Did you see the prompt, by the way? Did the prompt?
Oh,
correct.
I have no idea. I wasn't really looking for the prompt.
Okay, we'll check that in a sec. Right, so yeah, do you want to talk us through this explosion?
Cool. Yeah. So I've just unticked show health as a barrel because I don't really need to see my own health. So what have we got here? In the do explosion schedule function,
Yep.
you'll see here I say self.explosion schedule equals self schedule, blah blah blah. So it waits 3 seconds or something and then does the explosion. And above that, I've said if self.explosion schedule. So basically, if that's not a nil value, if there's something there, then return.
Right. Okay.
So that we can't trigger 2 of them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which actually I'm going to stick by because it should have killed me, so it should have respawned me. The problem really is that it didn't respawn me. If I did want to make sure that, you know, I couldn't do one until the last one had finished, what I could do is at the end of this schedule, when I'm happy that it's done, I can say the explosion schedule is now nil.
Yeah.
And then next time it gets back to here, it'll say, okay, that's a nil value. There's nothing. So we'll set up another one.
Or pass through again. Yeah, that makes sense.
Which I might as well leave in, but shouldn't be necessary.
Yeah, because you should have died by that point. So what do we think's not happening there? Is so it's this self.player.health script kill is supposed to be.
That didn't seem to work. I'll see if there's any errors.
Oh, okay, and you're passing through from player. So is it because there's no from player, or have you got that as yourself if you press? Yeah, you're not. So when you press the button, you're not actually passing a player through here?
Yeah, but I shouldn't be. I don't think I need to.
I guess not. I wonder if that's
health
what's tripping it up. Does the health script need, does it assume that that's actually got an entity?
Just checking. No, doesn't look like it. It just says if self-get entity is a character, self-get entity set alive false before it does any check for a from entity.
Right, okay.
Scroogle says, what if the bullet explosion just teleported the barrel to a random spot instead of killing them? Which is another way of doing it, but I think in this case it's probably nicer to kill the player off for a few reasons. You'll see the scoreboard change, so you can see that someone's inactive for like 5 seconds. You'll get a notification to say someone killed the barrel or something, so it's probably just a little bit nicer to do it as a kill.
Yeah, and I think like even as a mechanic, like if it was supposed to just teleport them somewhere, I wonder if, because it's kind of gives the barrel a chance, like if they're charging down a survivor and they get shot, they've kind of got that 3 seconds left to jump and get close to them. But you know, we'll see. Yeah, it might be that, you know, teleporting the barrels is one way of kind of mixing up the gameplay a bit. But I think, yeah, we'll stick with this for now and see how it goes.
So it should do, when you say kill to the health script, it should print health kill.
Yeah, okay. I've just
so it looks like it did print that.
Yeah. But it didn't actually.
Don't know. We could have another play and just check that that was being printed at the right time.
Yeah, I'll press play. I've removed the crosshair script. Actually, we don't really need it, and I don't want it to be showing up red. So
Yeah. Seems reasonable.
one thing that's worth noting: it does seem to be making me the hunter every time. For what it's worth.
Okay, it didn't do a kill there. I haven't had anything print kill, so those kill messages must have been when you shot me.
I haven't shot you.
No, that's what I mean.
Oh, I
we haven't
see.
got
Before
those messages.
we have got an error here. Barrel player script line 43. Attempt index field barrel, which is nil.
I'm not saying that this time. I think that was.
That.
Yeah, that was last. That was from the last play session.
Was it okay? I've got barrel player line 663 as well.
I think it's still the last play session.
This is at the very bottom. It's at the very bottom of my console.
Yeah, you should have about 8 lines below it.
Nope. I just reloaded and got 2.
What? Bit weird.
So,
Clear it now and just check again.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, pretty sure that was from this play session.
Scroogerwooger is already a Rust prisoner. He's buried under your house with just a small room with a Chromecast and a phone that works for Crayta stuff.
You've really got to stop reading these comments out sometimes.
The great thing is I start reading them before I even know what they're going to say.
Okay, right, don't do anything. So I've already got, I cleared and I've now got an error. Barrel player script line 43. Attempt to index field barrel.
That doesn't make sense. I'm not seeing that error.
It's a server error. Have you got a filter on your console?
Well, I have as well. Huh, would you look at that? Okay, so now I can see the problem.
Okay, got it. So line 43 and line 63.
Yeah, right, let's go and fix that.
Classic.
Line 43.
So barrels nil. And on line 63, yeah, same, pretty much.
Self-top barrel. That's kind of weird because if you look on the init function, self-top player equals self-get entity, self-top barrel equals self-top properties of barrel mesh, but it's not called barrel mesh, it's called barrel entity.
Well, that'll do it. Cool. Right, so I'm going to press play. So we should see the barrel disappear now as well.
Okay, that's probably why all of this logic so far hasn't worked.
Okay, so if you blow up.
Aha!
Ouch. I did a lot of damage.
And I am dead. You're not quite dead.
So... okay.
So I didn't respawn.
No, but that's because the game's ending. Because, of course, we've got the elimination script back in, but it needs to... I need to modify it to basically ignore if all the barrels are destroyed, because they will actually respawn. If that makes sense. Like barrels should always respawn, so it shouldn't end. So, so check for elimination. The team index.
Yeah, Michael Gill says that console filter gets me every time. Yep, it got me. Watch out for that one.
I guess it's because the filter disappears from the top, so you actually have that problem where it you don't see that you've got something typed in. So maybe that's one to mention. Right. So I guess here, instead of looping through for the teams, I just want to say.
So you reckon we weren't getting randomized?
Well, I mean, every time we previewed, then I was the hunter, right, or the survivor, and you were the barrel.
Yeah. The thing is, with random, when it's 2 people testing, that could still be chance.
It could be. He'd have figured at least one of those at some point would have swapped. I don't know if you just want to put some prints in there just to see what it's actually doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just staring at this script now. So this is saying if the team has a live players increment. Okay, cool. So what this is doing is basically saying each team increment the number of alive teams by 1. So I just want to put 1. So if team 1 has players alive, the number of alive equals 1. If that's less than 1 by this point, then we're going to end. So as long as there's players left on team 1,
I don't know if anyone's actually noticed this, but while we're talking about 2 players, we keep seeing the same team. There's a little bit of logic in prop hunt where if it is just 2 players, it'll actually make sure it swaps every round. Little fun thing that you may not have seen before.
I didn't realize it did that.
If you die, you get a new server with no players. Lol. Yeah, let's maybe not go for that approach. Use a go to world, death world.
Cool. Okay, so I think I'm ready for another quick test. If what was it you were looking at?
Not sure. I fixed the barrel. I put a couple of prints into the user shuffling, but then I realized if the prints come out saying it's shuffled, then we're going to see. It'll tell us if it reaches the shuffle part anyway.
Okay, cool. Let's play. So we should see that when you explode, you should, in theory, come back as a barrel. Oh, I'm a barrel this time.
Oh, there we go. I think it literally was just chance.
It was just chance. Okay.
I changed no logic there.
Okay, so I'm the barrel this time. I don't see a prompt, so I'll have to check that. Okay, I may have made a mistake in what I was doing.
Every player named Iceland gets sent to an empty server.
So why did that end straight away? Okay, so we have teams. Team has alive players. You want to just double check this with me? Just make sure I'm not being daft. Elimination game script, check elimination.
Oh, maybe you couldn't see. I was just sending you silly quick chat messages instead.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't see. I had a full screen up.
Where am I looking?
Elimination game script line.
Yep.
Sort of around here. So this basically
line sort of around here.
I saw your cursor up here.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was basically doing a loop through all of the teams defined, and if any of them, if it was increment number of alive teams by 1. Oh no, sorry, I know what I've done.
I'm glad I could be of service.
Yeah, rubber duck. Basically, it was working out if there was any teams left, and if there's only 1 team left, then it would end. Obviously, I'm checking. I'm saying is there only 1 team left, but in this case, I'm checking is it the surviving team. If it is, increment by 1. So if number of alive is less than or equal to 0, then I know that the survivors are all dead. Otherwise, we continue. Okay, let's play.
Right. Okay. Cool. Oh, I've got a high score of 1.
Nice. Should have a look at some point of getting the guns and maybe having it so the lobby logic doesn't do all that spawning as well. Because we kind of want the lobby to just be all players out. Are you respawning?
So I think it might be a 5-second respawn at the moment.
There was an error in the health script, so.
Oh. Attempt to index local from entity and nil value. Okay, so the health script really does need a from entity.
Yeah, I thought it might have done, but it kind of makes sense because it's easy enough to, I guess, because you can just pass in on your detonate.
Just pass it.
Just do a self get entity.
Yep.
So,
yeah, that'll do it.
Cool. So you basically it's yourself. We can always catch that and maybe do a slightly custom message. So it doesn't just say Adam killed Adam, but it'll say, Adam exploded. It does seem to like making me the hunter. or the survivor. Sorry.
It does favour that, but it is just random. I
Okay.
was killed.
Oh.
And I'm back.
I heard a spawn, and yeah, I assume you spawned in the same place.
Yep.
Okay, so if you take me out now,
Aha, you are dead.
so you died as well, but I also died. So at this point, it should end. Hey, cool. It spawned me as a barrel. That worked.
Nice. We're getting somewhere.
And yeah, I wonder if we just need to get rid of the score aspect, because that kind of doesn't make a huge amount of sense.
Yeah, that's what I did in Prop Hunt. I think I pretty much just removed it from the widgets, just so it doesn't display a score.
Okay, so right, so let me shoot you. Don't blow me up.
Okay.
Oh, that wasn't you.
Yeah, be able to shoot me then.
Okay, so I shot the barrel.
Yep.
And you exploded.
So I guess we need to see some sort of effect when you successfully shoot me. That's right, isn't it? I need to be able to see. You need to be able to see that you've shot me successfully, so I need to play an effect.
Well, so at the minute I get the damage numbers. I wouldn't get that off a normal barrel, but when I shoot you, I see like I see a damage on it. That might be enough for now. You're not respawning, are you?
I'm not respawning. There's an error in the health script.
Okay.
Attempt to index from entity.
So
again.
So let's have a look. So that'll be because you were shot. So it's almost like this came through. This from on damage came through as now. Doesn't on damage pass?
It might pass the amount first.
I think it does, yeah. So it's damage amount from player, then like the hit result or something, but we don't need that.
Yeah, we don't need the other parts. But yeah, it passes damage amount first.
That should fix that. One thing quickly, let's just check. Because you said you weren't seeing I didn't see a prompt. We've got the prompts package.
Have we got the prompts on the player as well?
It could well be that I've just named the function wrong.
We haven't got the prompts override on the player.
Sorry, it's get button prompts, plural. I think in the barrel script I said get button prompt. I did. Okay, that should work. Let's review. So, can you see a prompt?
Yes. Press left mouse to explode in 3 seconds.
Cool. Okay, so that's formatted nicely. I know you need to come up those stairs. Oh,
damn it!
You snuck around.
I really need to increase the damage so I can actually kill you in one go.
Yeah, I think it needs to do enough damage to kill me if you get right up to me.
Like that.
Like that. But then,
yeah, and the other fun thing would be launching you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so I've actually written that down to something to try and do this stream, so might tackle that now.
Yeah.
That should be straightforward enough, I think. We can do that together.
Yep.
Okay. Having a quick look.
Another big thing to change this game up would be adding a little bit of like jiggling logic. Oh hello. To the barrels, so that they're not all just in a static position. You are dead.
So what do you mean? Like, so you can't just learn them, sort of thing?
Yeah, so you can't learn what's a normal barrel. So you put loads down, but they could all move by like 50 units in either direction and turn around a bit as well.
Yeah.
Because obviously I can see you by the one that's turned to a non-90-degree angle.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Where have you gone?
What do you think about the level destruction? I think it kind of makes sense.
I think it will work well, yeah.
I think it works quite well. But we'll keep that on. It might be that we make it, obviously, like the floor doesn't blow up, but areas of the map will blow up. Cool. So where do we want to do the blow up logic? It'll be on the probably do it
the launch logic.
Yeah, sorry. Is it in the health script on damage? Because we've got the from entity, so we know where you were damaged from, right?
We know where you were damaged from, but we could just do it on the barrel script when they do an explosion. Because they can just get every user, get the players that each one has, check what team they're on, and then do a launch if they're within range.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it might be
Dunno.
fun to not check the team and it like knock back other barrels as well.
So it launches on the barrel's way.
So it might knock a barrel into someone else, or it might like not the only the player barrels still. But I think that would be quite a cool way of handling that. So yeah, we'd do it in this. So when you apply radial damage, perhaps then.
Yeah.
So it's in here, isn't it?
Yes,
cool.
it is.
So yeah, let's do a loop through all the players. Or all the users, sorry. Okay, so local player.
Yep, and I made a tiny tweak to the map as well. So barrel player script.
Yeah, okay. So we've got a player. So we want to check, because it might be that the user doesn't actually have a player because they're respawning. So yeah, check that.
Do we want to launch them if they're dead? That might be funny.
It might be funny. Yeah. Do you need to check if they're valid here? I guess if it's returned a player.
I think it's worth checking if they're valid.
Just safe, isn't it?
I can't remember the state when players aren't valid, but that is just a safer thing to do. Don't want to try and access a player entity that's not valid.
Well, I guess it's a check that the entity's valid, not necessarily the player. So it could be that they're like still initializing or something, like if it's really badly timed. So I guess there's no harm in checking. Okay, you're going to throw out some maths here, aren't you? So yeah, you want to get the vector difference.
Oh, do you want to also put in a check that it's not us ourselves as the player?
That's a very good point. And player is, where is this? This is on the player, isn't it? This script, it's not the user. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we want to check that the player isn't the entity the script's attached to, so we don't try and launch ourselves. Do you want to launch strength property? Probably, don't you?
Yes.
Go and do that.
Yeah, launch strength and a maximum range. Yeah.
Would
that will lerp.
Would that not be the same as your damage radius?
It could be.
I'm just thinking, like,
I could use the same value, yeah.
Because then we know that if you've done damage, you get slightly launched. It kind of feels nice then, but yeah.
So I may get this the wrong way around the first time. It always confuses me. Do I want the player's position minus the barrel's position, or the other way around?
I think it's the barrel minus the player. But yes, there's a good chance it'll be wrong because I always get that wrong as well. There's discussion in chat about this being a Meat Baby game.
No, I think.
I'm not sure. No.
No.
We'll I think actively ban Meat Babies from this game.
Yeah, I think we've had enough of them, certainly in the last game jam, that we probably don't need any more ever again.
Cool. So launch strength. I've set the default to 1,000. I think it needs a decent.
I think it might need more than that, but I'm not certain.
Okay, we'll see. If we get a little nudge, we'll interpret it, or we'll boost it. So this math.lerp, do you want to talk us through what that's doing?
Not really. Yeah. So the math.lerp is short for linear interpolation, and it basically means go between one value and another by an amount. So I'm going to go between our sort of total, our maximum launch strength, which is basically launch strength times the direction. Oh wait, there should be vector.lerp because we're going between two vectors. No, actually, the launch vector, sorry, should be launch direction times math.lerp of the maximum launch strength to 0 by the distance the player is away from us over the damage radius. But we haven't got the distance yet. The distance is going to be
just yeah.
Oh no.
No,
Sorry,
I can say
length.
it's just
length,
yeah.
isn't
But
it?
say you've already got the difference, so you just want the length of that. Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. And then this is going to be the diff normalized for the direction. Normalized just means it makes it a unit vector. So it means whatever the vector is, it could be like 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. It's just going to turn it into a vector that's 1 unit in length, so like 1 centimeter long. So that literally just gets us direction, and then we can multiply that by the strength to go back up to a big vector, basically.
Yeah, so that that normalizes quite a handy trick, isn't it, for calculating things sort of fairly. You know, we're going to boost this number, this launch, by our own logic here. So by normalizing that original vector down to 1, that kind of always ensures that the number that we're multiplying is the same every time, which is quite an important part of sort of vector maths. Obviously, what we're doing now is quite advanced. You know, this is sort of getting into the pretty tricky end of coding. But once you start to get your head around some of the mechanics, you know, and if you're interested in coding, I'd highly recommend having a look out for some, especially sort of vector maths tutorials and things. Again, it's quite a daunting thing to get into, but once you start to get your head around how little things come together, it's really quite nice, and really quite a nice way of building some pretty fun game mechanics. Starting to understand how things come together in the game.
Okay.
But, yeah, so basically all of that, you know, the effect we're getting is the closer to the barrel you are, the further you get launched. How confident are you this is going to work first time?
Like 3 out of 10. Should we go for it?
Oh, really? So I wondered why everyone was talking about meat in the chat, and I completely. Oh, it sounds.
Oh, it was nothing to do with this. It's because I saw someone say. What did I see them say?
Oh,
Maggie said, "If only those were meat voxels." And Maggie said that, and she is staff, so you know you can't ignore that.
I guess not. I didn't get launched. An error in math.lerp.
Damn it.
Let's go have a look. Barrel 69. Okay, yeah. String math.lerp.
Wait, what? Is it because I put it onto a new line to try and make it more readable?
Could be.
We can do that though, right? Yeah, we can do math.lerp.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's right. It's just, I think, yeah, the splitting into a new line, it thought it was a string for some reason.
Kind of weird. Should we try again?
Yeah, go for it. Yep, you press play.
We should probably paint fill this back into something more normal, shouldn't we?
We should, yeah. I agree with AJC. The meat squishy sound when you walk on it is pretty gross. It's cool. It is
kind of gross.
It's cool, but it's kind of it's a bit much.
Brace yourself. You didn't launch.
I didn't launch. Oh no, it's still going to the same error.
What? How is that a string?
Okay, maybe
it's not a string.
Maybe the string part of it's a red herring. Let's just talk through this. So, difference is the player's position minus the barrel's current position. The distance is the length of that vector. The direction is the normalized version of that vector. And then the actual vector we're going to launch is the direction times. And then that's
expected user data received number. Bad argument into a vector. Launch strength is definitely just a number, right? Yeah, that's just a number.
Yep. So diff is a vector. And you're doing diff divided by damage radius. So that's a
No,
vector.
diff is a number. Diff. Oh, sorry, dist.
Diff.
It should
Yeah.
be dist.
Yeah.
Damn it. That'll be it.
Yeah, so you were dividing. Yeah.
Well spotted.
On the barrel this time. Catch me if you can. I'll wait for the round to start so it doesn't get tripped up.
Okay. Launch me off the stairs.
Oh, I think
I moved. I think.
I think yeah, it pushed you, but you got hit by the step. We'll just try it again, but we'll stay clear. I think it pushed you into the side of the map. So, and it might be that we need to really increase the strength of it.
What might be nice is adding just a little vertical component as well, so everyone gets bounced up a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Away from the floor.
You stand there.
Yeah, I want to see if I bounce off the ledge.
Right.
I moved.
So I think what it's doing. So I think you're right. We just need to add a sort of like an up offset to it.
Yeah.
So I'll set up a new property for that if you want to.
Cool.
Hook it in.
What's it called?
I'll just call it launch offset, and it'll be a vector.
Yep. That is done and ready to go.
That was fast. Let me just go set that up.
Should we make the standard launch a little bit more powerful as well?
Yes, we should. Is that on barrel player?
Yeah, so your launch strength is 1,000. I'm going to up that to 5,000.
Okay, and then should we just put the offset to like 1 on the Z, and then that will multiply? Is that going to multiply in?
No. It only adds that at the end.
Adds it. Okay.
So if you imagine this is going to be like, if it's just in one direction, it'll be like 5,000, 0, 0. So
right.
that might need 1,000 in there, or 500 or something.
Let's go for 1,000.
This could be extreme, but it'll prove the point at least if it is.
There we are. Okay.
Cool.
Press play.
You can't catch me.
The one thing I'm thinking is we kind of need the barrel to beep. I think like that'd be quite good.
What, when it's done its explode schedule?
Yeah, so you can hear it counting down.
Yeah. Would you want the enemies to hear that?
I think so, because it's pretty close.
Okay.
Like if a barrel's detonating, right, they're pretty close to the player at that point, so kind of instills fear. Yeah, whenever you're ready, if you want to detonate. Assume this is you in front of me.
Don't know. Is it? Or is that just another moving
Whoa.
barrel? That worked.
Okay, that definitely worked. That
I could see you way up the back.
It smashed me into the ceiling. Okay, I think we can tweak those numbers, but I think that kind of, I can just imagine running around and then like one of the sort of other survivors just getting flung across the room. It'd be pretty funny.
Do you want to see it? Go up on the thing.
I've already
Oh, okay.
I'd already pressed it. That's pretty funny. Cool. Right, so we've kind of got everything there as the core mechanics then. I think it's probably a good time to think about wrapping this up. Unless there's any other quick little wins you wanted to try and squeeze in now, or are you happy at that?
Yeah, I think I'm happy at that point for now, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the next task would be randomizing the barrels a little bit, but we can probably leave that for next time.
Yeah, so I think basically next time I'll have a look at getting a few more of the kind of the scoring in, I guess. So we'll remove the scores because they don't make much sense. Probably add some global leaderboards. I was thinking it'd be quite cool to see how many times you've survived for the time limit.
Yep.
That sort of thing, and we can work on set dressing and making the level a little bit nicer. So hopefully we'll get this finished next stream, but if not, as I say, we'll roll it on to another one and see where we're up to. So okay, thanks Adam, that's been good fun.
Cool. Thank you very much.
I'll speak to you in a little bit. Okay, so hopefully that's been an interesting stream for everybody. As I say, it's a slightly different sort of change to the format. Obviously, we've not resulted in a game at the end of this, but we are going to have this game evolving over the course of a couple of streams, as I said. We'll probably shout out in Discord at some point, actually, and see if people got any ideas. We may also jump in and just fix a few things off stream. Obviously, anything we do we'll show on the next stream, but it may just be the odd thing here or there we want to tidy up away from the camera. But as I say, hopefully that's been interesting. Do let us know if you've enjoyed that sort of format, slightly more sort of technical deep dive with quite a lot more sort of discussion around it. If you did enjoy it, let us know in the comments, and also like the video so we can kind of see from there if it's the sort of stream we want to do more of. As always, make sure you join our Discord. So we're pretty active over on Discord, and we do a lot over there. Sort of community engagement, a lot of chat, a lot of playing games together, sort of working through problems together. We've got all the help channels you'd want. So that's discord.gg/Crayta. We're also available on Twitter and Instagram, and at Crayta Game on both those platforms. So great places to keep up with all the latest news and things happening in the world of Crayta, including our comic book series. So this week we released our sort of third issue, I think it is, called Conundrum, which ties in nicely to our game jam, which is running at the moment. So our sci-fi game jam is running. We've got 3 days left to get your submissions in before the deadline, which is Monday 10 a.m. BST. So as we said earlier, slightly later in the morning than last time, so hopefully it gives a bit of a chance to sort of get those submissions together. If you are submitting images and things for your game jam, then do make sure you do those in plenty of time, because there is a approval process to that, which is manual. So if you're submitting images sort of close to the deadline, there's a chance that they'll get missed. So make sure you give yourself a couple of days lead time on submitting those. And then, as always, do make sure you subscribe to us here on YouTube. So we've got a lot of content planned, and a lot of content already there in the archives for you to go and watch. It'd be great if you could set up your notifications to get notified as to when we're going to be live. We'll be back next week looking at our game jam submissions. So do make sure you tune in on Tuesday to have a look through all of the games. We'll kind of play them a little bit like we did before. Perhaps Adam and I will go into them a little bit blind, give you kind of a first impressions as we play through them. So brilliant, thank you for being here, and we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend.